The top story that we're tracking at this hour. US President Donald Trump has warned of BRICS member countries from replacing the US dollar as a reserve currency. Trump has reiterated his 100% tariffs threat that he had made weeks after winning the election. Trump said in a statement on Truth Social that his government needs commitment from BRICS nations that they will neither create any new currency nor support any other currency to replace the US dollar. If not, they will face 100% tariffs. The statement is nearly identical to the one posted on November 30th. This comes after BRICS member nation Brazil threatened to reciprocate if Trump hikes tariffs. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has called for mutual respect and has said that his government would reciprocate if Trump decides to impose tariffs on his country. Earlier this week, Trump named Brazil among countries that he believes mean the US quote-unquote harm, threatening potential tariffs.
It's very simple. If Donald Trump taxes Brazilian products, there will be reciprocity from Brazil in taxing products that are exported to the United States.
Earlier, Trump said that his 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico are coming on February the 1st, but that he will decide whether to include oil from those countries as part of his import taxes.
I didn't say that. You said that. No. No. We may or may not. We're going to make that determination probably tonight on oil. Yeah, because they send us oil. We'll see. It depends on what the price is. If the oil is properly priced, if they treat us properly, which they don't. Look, Mexico and Canada have never been good to us on trade. They've treated us very unfairly on trade. And we will be able to make that up very quickly because we don't need the products that they have. We have all the oil you need.
Trump has repeatedly warned Mexico and Canada, two of the US's top trading partners, that he will impose tariffs if the two countries do not end illegal immigration and the smuggling of chemicals used for fentanyl. Trump also spoke about plans to expand the detention facilities in Guantanamo Bay. When questioned about the cost, Trump assured that it would not be substantial, pointing to pre-existing infrastructure. We are now joined by Mark Rowland, who is a geo-economic and geopolitical strategist. He's also an author, and he's now joining us live from London. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Well, I want to first begin with the threat that Trump has reiterated to the BRICS country. He said that he has fairly good relations with Vladimir Putin and also with Xi Jinping, when on the one hand, he says that he will impose sanctions on Russia if Vladimir Putin does not make a deal and end the war in Ukraine. And he also tells Xi Jinping that sanctions will be levied. But on the other hand, he also delays the TikTok ban. Yet China goes ahead, and there is an app like DeepSeek that's coming out of the country. Also, Vladimir Putin's spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, says that we are used to hearing such things, such measures under the Trump administration, because we've heard of it in his first term as well. How do you see the geopolitics playing out here? How do you expect Donald Trump to balance this act?
Well, I think he's the first explicit transactional president, or you could even call him a CEO president. So this is very much part of a negotiation gambit. I agree with that one. He pushes as hard as he can and see how many concessions he can get. And he actually knows that the talk about replacing the dollar has been going on for decades, and it's not easily made. But a problem that can happen for the dollar is that we turn into more multi-dollar currency world where the dollar is still weakened a bit.
Do you expect these economies to be able to sustain without the dollar dependency, given how Putin has still gone ahead and sort of amplified his attacks on Ukraine? And also when we talk about China, we see, like I just told you, how we saw the emergence of DeepSeek coming out of China, which has really affected the US tech stocks. So do you expect these economies to be able to sustain without the dollar dependence?
Not really, no, not at the moment. The dollar is too strong, and still today, 90% of all global forex transactions are made in dollars. So, this liquidity asset is just amazing, and it's also a matter of trust. American financial institutions are still much more trusted than the alternative with the Chinese financial institutions, and nobody trusts them. So the dollar is strong and is here to stay. But it could be, on a relative scale, it could be weakened. I mean, Russia is so hard sanctioned, so they have to turn elsewhere. And so on a few percent, and if the dollar weakens just slightly, it weakens Trump's position. He knows that the strength of the dollar is what makes him able to sort of fight so hard and talk about tariffs in every direction, like Canada, Mexico, mentioned before, Brazil. So he uses this card as a negotiation card because the dollar is so strong at the moment.
Do you see Donald Trump actually going ahead with his threat of tariffs, especially as regards the countries like Mexico, Canada, India even, with whom US has a lot of trade going on? Do you expect Donald Trump to actually go ahead and levy these tariffs?
I would be surprised if they're levied at that level. 25% is too much. We saw in the election campaign as well, he was talking about 60% against China, and that has already gone down considerably to 10, 20%. And I think they're going to be tough negotiations over the coming days. And I think it would be a surprise if not something happens, if there is some sort of breakthrough, so the tariffs are coming down at least from 25%, and there could be some sort of face-saving action also that you could impose tariffs on individual issues. But I think this is part of the game. I mean, the US is also harmed if these tariffs are imposed. So I think, again, he's just playing hard at the moment, and he's hoping for concessions. If no concessions are given, then he will probably stick to it, because that's the kind of guy he is. But I think the Canadian and Mexican governments, they will probably do give concessions, just as Colombia did a few days ago.
Thank you so much, Mark Rowling, for joining us on the broadcast.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.